Elmer, what's wrong?
No, really, Elmer, what's wrong?
Well, I rented an inflatable space bounce and slide set from the Shelby Baptist Association, but I don't know how to set it up.
Aw shucks, I wish there was someone who could help us.
Who are you, mister?
Why, I'm the instruction manual for the Shelby Baptist Association's inflatable bouncy castle and slide set, of course. Come with me, kids, as we go on a magical journey of instruction.
First, you should lay out your tarp, making sure to create enough space so that the inflatable doesn't touch the ground. Next, use the provided rock bags to weigh down your tarp. Roll out the inflatable to a central location in the middle of the tarp. Then, unwrap the D-rings that surround the inflatable. After this, you'll remove the cover from the inflatable. This might be difficult, so we suggest turning the inflatable upside down and then trying to rip it off from the top. Don't let your team's morale drop to dangerously low levels if it takes them entirely too long to complete this step. It's quite normal. Next, you'll want to unwrap your inflatable, once again making sure that none of it is touching the ground beneath the tarp. If it is, you may need to resituate the inflatable. You'll see two tubes on the back of the inflatable. You'll want to wrap one around the mouth of the fan and then tie it off as tightly as you possibly can. For the other, you'll just want to tie it to itself, making sure that no air can escape from this sleeve. At this point, you're ready to turn your fan on. As the inflatable is blowing itself up, make sure to connect the rock bags to each corner using the carabiners attached. There are pockets with zippers on the side of each of the inflatable. Make sure that these are closed so the inflatable can fully blow up, and then pull the Velcro tab down, ensuring that no air can escape. Now is a good time to notice that there are emergency Velcro exits on the top of the inflatable. It's important to have a responsible adult around who's aware of these exits and can help a child if they get trapped as the inflatable is deflating. As it comes time to bring the inflatable down, revert again to the zipper pouches on the side, as these will speed up the deflation process. You'll also want to untie the sleeves from the fans and from themselves in order to let air escape. Don't forget to also detach the rock bags from the inflatable. Before you place the fan back into the trailer, wrap up the cord around the top of the fan as seen. The bouncy castle, when deflated, should be folded into thirds by bringing the two parts from the outside into the middle. It might then be a good idea to step on the inflatable or even to roll on it in order to help some excess air release from the inside of the inflatable. Once this is done, the inflatable should be uniformly rolled up, starting with the end without the tubes and rolling into the tubes themselves. We recommend placing the black straps with the D-rings underneath the inflatable so that you can roll the inflatable right on top of it and then wrap the D-rings around just as they came. Then tighten these straps as tight as you can. Once this is done, you can stand up the inflatable and get it back into the bag in which it came. Once again, do not be discouraged if it takes your team a lot longer to complete this process than you think is necessary. Keep in mind that the individuals in this video are highly trained professionals. They've mastered this process completely. After this, the bouncy castle is ready to be packed away. The instructions for assembling the inflatable slide are virtually the same as those for the bouncy castle. Once again, you're going to make sure that you have enough tarp space to lay down the inflatable without it touching the ground. Unwrap the D-rings, remove the bag, and get the inflatable onto the middle of the tarp. Notice here how the highly trained professionals in this video have made a mistake. The slide is sideways on their tarp. This is no big deal. If this happens to you, just reorient the slide on top of the tarp, making sure once again that the slide is not touching the ground beneath the tarp. You can follow the same procedure as that of the bouncy castle in order to unfold and start the inflation of the inflatable slide. Keep in mind as the inflatable slide starts to blow up that it's a bit more top heavy than the bouncy castle. It may benefit you to have individuals stand using the ropes, pulling the slide in the right direction as it's inflating. Once it's fully inflated, you can hook your rock bags into the corner of the inflatable slide. Now let's take some time to talk about some of the safety procedures for the inflatables. You should always make sure that there is an adult present supervising on both of the inflatables. There should be no pets allowed on either of the inflatables. There is no flipping on the inflatables, and there should be no horseplay on the inflatables. Children should not jump from the top of the slide. Children should not run on the slide. Gum, drinks, and food are not permitted on either of the inflatables. Under no circumstances should there be knives or sharp objects on the inflatables. Children should not jump off or out of the inflatables. Rather, they should exit in a seated position. Shoes are not permitted on the inflatables. Children should not climb the walls of the inflatables. Children should slide down one at a time, making sure that the previous child is off before they start sliding. Under no circumstances should more than one child slide down at one time. It is beneficial to have a responsible adult who can guide the children off of the slide one by one as they slide down, and make sure that children aren't sliding down on top of each other. Children should not slide down on the interior or the exterior walls. Once you are finished with the inflatable, please sweep out any dust, dirt, or garbage. When you're finished, turn off the fan, untie the sleeves, and release the zipper pouches in order to begin deflating. As is the case with the inflation of the slide, it may be good to guide the slide as it deflates down. Once again, you should unhook your rock bags as soon as the inflatable is done deflating. Step on or roll on the inflatable to release all of the excess air. Since this inflatable is larger than the last, it may be quartered and then folded in half, or you can fold it into thirds if you're able to do so tightly. Once again, roll up the inflatable and strap it with the D-rings before you place it back into its bag. Lastly, make sure that you fold the tarp or tarps before you place them back inside the inflatable trailer.
Oh my gosh, I've learned so much.
I'm so excited to play! Yes, Queen!
Wow, Mr. Instruction Manual. Thanks for sharing all this with us.
Why, of course. Just remember to be safe and have fun.